Here on our end as well. Joining us is Jenna Lee, an anchor at the Fox Business Network. Good morning, Jenna.
Good morning.
So let's explain to people who may not understand what the futures index is. Even before the markets open, these futures indexes are trading. They're sort of a predictor of how the markets will open. It got so low this morning, they just halted trading. What's the significance of that?
Well, what is significant about it, as you mentioned, it does indicate on how the markets are going to open up. What's really interesting about today is we saw Dow futures, S&P futures, NASDAQ, so all the major indices actually hit those levels. We call it the limit down right there. So that's a limit down for futures, meaning that exactly how you said, we had to stop them because that was the point that you said no more, the futures can't trade anymore. When that happened, actually, we saw some of the markets in Europe kind of come down a little bit. But at this point, it's tough to know where we're going to open today because we've been at those limits. We haven't come off of them. And remember, we can hit them and we can regain lost ground.
Exactly.
But we've kind of sat there and we've been there for almost about an hour and a half right now.
If that would happen when trading is going on after the markets open, that would accomplish what? Give us sort of a breather?
Exactly. They're called circuit breakers. That could be a term that you would hear during the markets open. So from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, that would be the term that they would say, okay, time out. The Dow future, Dow has fallen 1,000 points. I think it's 1,200 points. We're going to stop trading for about a half an hour. Regroup. Everyone just take a second. And that's what would happen during the day. We're not at that yet. But that's just something to keep in mind.
Why the schizophrenia? Yesterday we had a rally. We had an erratic day, but then we had a rally at the end. Today the futures are down again.
And it's felt that way for several weeks, hasn't it? It's been tough to follow. One of the things I would just make an analogy as, when you feel sick, you go to the doctors, and you've been feeling sick for days, and the doctor finally tells you, oh yeah, you got the flu. And then you feel worse. And then you tell all your friends how bad you feel, and then you feel even worse. And that's kind of what's happening with the markets right now, is that we're reaching that realization, that news, for example, out of the United Kingdom, that they are in a point where they're on the verge of a recession, is just admitting to everyone, hey, this is the place we're in. And we're in a tough economic time right now.
Wish there was a flu shot for the markets.
We were hoping that $700 billion flu shot would help us out, but we're going to have to wait and see for now.
The fact that this is happening on a Friday, what does that tell you? Any way to predict how the day is going to go based on previous Fridays?
Yeah, it's been really tough. Fridays over the last couple of weeks have been very volatile sessions. Sometimes we've been able to regain lost ground, like last Friday. We were able to at least look a little bit healthier moving into the weekend. At this point, it's anyone's guess. That final hour of trading is really where we start to see how we're going to indicate for the world markets to open when we get through the weekend. So it's anyone's best guess. I don't know if there's any particular significance about this Friday, this week, except for the fact that we're, again, all kind of realizing we're in a tough spot.
All right. Well, Jenna, let's end this on good news. We know the markets can't drop tomorrow because they're closed.
We get a break. There's a breather right there.
Thank you, Jenna. Now here's Harry.